That went really well.
Yeah, we kind of just looked at each other. I think we should have planned an intro there.
Yeah, we didn't do that at all.
We're back in the studio. We're back in the... how much did this studio cost?
This studio costs me a lot of money every month, you gotta think, remember.
Yeah.
It's a living studio.
Yeah.
Some would call it a studio apartment.
Well, what it is I think that podcasting is an art form, and you're dedicated to your art. You live amongst your art 24/7.
Yeah,
you know
exactly. A computer,
yeah,
right here.
Yeah.
That at any time.
So some people call that sad and lonely.
It can record my voice though.
Yeah.
There's not many people who can say that.
Yeah.
There's
Exactly.
people around this world.
And how do you pronounce Van? Is it the American pronunciation to say Van Gogh?
Van Gogh.
Yeah.
Isn't it Van Gogh?
Is Van Gogh?
Van Gogh.
Van Gogh.
Van Gogh.
You know, he was probably like the original incel. I mean...
Was he an incel? Yeah, he probably was actually, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to have sex with Vincent
Yeah.
Van Gogh. That was part of the problem.
Would you want to shag someone who had no ear?
I wouldn't want to shag Vincent Van Gogh.
Well, exactly, because he had no ear.
Don't really know what that is. I can't articulate it. Can't put my finger onto why I wouldn't want to shag Vincent Van Gogh.
Well, yeah, he's probably quite old now as well.
Oh, and a little bit dead.
So there's something I wanted to discuss with you, Joe.
Okay.
Because what's this? Is this episode 6?
I don't give a shit.
No.
I don't give a shit.
No, but we founded our podcast 3 years ago, and so that's like 2 episodes a year.
Yeah.
And I just feel like subconsciously the reason we haven't recorded for so long, we've got to talk about the name.
The Left Can't Meet.
I don't like the name.
Why don't you like the name?
Every time someone asks me what my podcast is called, I deflect.
Why is this?
I feel like I feel like people are gonna think I'm Ben Shapiro.
I don't think people are going to think you're Ben Shapiro.
Yeah, but then...
You do not remind me of Ben Shapiro.
Okay, but it's not... I don't know, so I'm just thinking, can we come up with another name?
On the spot?
Yeah.
No.
I think we could. I think
do you
we
reckon
could
we
do
could
it.
come up with another name?
Yeah.
Go on then.
Oh dear.
Have a good time with it.
Hang on. We could do something like Okay, never mind. Yeah. Okay.
You see the problem?
I see the problem.
Because I remember this a few years ago when we were trying to come up with the name for the podcast and we couldn't think of any.
I think I was quite overconfident as well. Did we come up with any other names or did we just go straight?
No, that was the only name.
Was this the first thing we went for?
It was the only thing we
could we go for like the Crispy Boys?
The Crispy Boys.
I think I said Stay Crispy at the end of one of these episodes and I regretted it ever since.
Oh.
That could be like
I'm not. You think that we sound like we're like barbecuing.
Well, we could start barbecuing.
We sound like we're a barbecuing podcast.
Because we did talk about rebranding a little bit, and we could become like a barbecue podcast.
I wouldn't mind barbecuing. I would mind becoming a barbecue podcast.
Well,
we'll think about it.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, should we stick to politics for now?
Yes.
And just general.
What are we sequencing into?
Just some politics.
There's some insane politics going on right now. There's some insane politics.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Liz Truss.
She's gonna be Prime Minister.
By the time people listen to this.
Yeah, she's already Prime Minister.
She's basically. Yeah.
I mean, but the thing is, we started the podcast saying, who's gonna replace Jeremy Corbyn, and now it's who's gonna replace Boris Johnson, and I think that, we were right. I think we agreed Keir Starmer was gonna win.
Yeah, we did, and we're saying Liz Truss is gonna win.
So
we're right about that one.
We're gonna be 2 for 2.
And I think that's all that really matters.
Yeah.
I don't care that she's gonna.
At this point,
it's funny.
At this point, what can you, as a British person, as anyone in the country who hasn't got like at least £50 million due to even slightly influence like an election? There's nothing you can do to stop Liz Truss being Prime Minister.
I'm enjoying.
So might as well have a laugh.
Yeah. Are you not kind of excited? You're not just like, where's this gonna go now? Because it's been a hell of a ride.
It has.
It's been a hell of a ride.
They keep getting weirder.
Like
Boris Johnson. I'm gonna say, and people may disagree, less weird than Liz Truss.
Yeah, and people were calling Liz Truss the fucking liberal option. A few years ago, all the liberal Tories were like, "Oh, I really want Liz Truss to be Prime Minister," and now it's all of like the Boris Johnson fucking.
But Boris Johnson did get a lot of always secretly a liberal
I don't think anyone said he was secretly a liberal. Well, he was economically. Yeah. A little bit. Fucking. I don't know. The least worst.
Yeah.
Basically,
I agree
the
with
best
that.
way to describe
I agree with that,
it.
and I was a little bit worried when Boris got betrayed and backstabbed. And
I am still quite upset
because I would like to make it clear I do not like Boris Johnson.
But they could have at least let him finish it. They could have at least let him lead them to fucking destruction. Do you know what I mean? Like, because if why give it to Liz Truss to do?
She's still gonna fuck them.
I don't know why you. I don't. You know what? I honestly don't know why you'd want it. I don't know why you'd want to be Tory leader at the moment. Well, like, you're gonna get fucking. You're gonna eat shit. Yeah. Like,
some of them are into that, presumably.
Yeah, but she's gonna bomb, mate. She's gonna bomb. And I mean that in a good way.
Yeah.
I mean, she's gonna rip up the family.
The country's gonna be fucked, but the country would be fucked either way. So, have a laugh, and that's my advice to you.
Have a good time. When the results are announced, I'm gonna kick back. I'm gonna have a beer.
And if you think about this, what is the big thing everyone's talking about? The cost of living crisis and the energy crisis, and no one's going to be able to heat their homes. But do you not think that the inevitable nuclear war that Liz Truss will start with France over cheese, like the warm, soothing fires of the atomic holocaust, will keep your home warm this winter? So, you know,
have you seen
it's not all bad, folks.
Have you seen what she said today?
Go on.
She said today, so her and Rishi Sunak were asked about cost of living crisis, and she said today that she had a plan to deal with the cost of living crisis, but that she wasn't going to tell anyone what it was until she became Prime Minister.
Well, yeah, because she doesn't want the cost of living crisis.
It is.
Well, think about it. If the cost of living crisis finds out what her plan to defeat it is, it's gonna change.
It's gonna change tactics.
Yeah, it's gonna take on a new
It's
form.
incredible because I swear they've closed voting already, so she's not got anything to gain from saying that.
Well, yeah, but
she's just like, because I mean, I've never heard a worse excuse really.
You know, when you're in school and it'd be like, "I'm sorry, sir, I haven't got my homework today. I have done it. I just
I left it at home.
I left it at home, and this is just that." But
well, I used to go with the technique of I'll bring it in tomorrow.
Yeah,
and then I would do it.
Did that work for you?
Night, occasionally. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I once just. What did I do?
I don't know what you did.
I don't know what I did.
What did you do in school?
Lots of learning mostly.
Yeah.
Actually, no.
Nerd.
Sorry, mate. I got.
Fuck you.
I got one GCSE, which is like that makes me the smartest guy in Kirby.
That does make you quite elite.
Yeah.
In terms of the whole of Liverpool.
Yeah. No, because you see, you're slagging me off there, but what it actually is they just said you're so powerful with your brain that like your one GCSE is like the equivalent of most people getting 30 GCSEs.
It's your equivalent of 10 Scouse GCSEs.
No, just 30 English GCSEs.
I thought they had a different education system over there.
Do you know why I like the Communist Party of Britain?
Go on.
They are the only party, as far as I'm aware, that has released an official statement which includes the words Scouse exceptionalism.
I wish that there would be Scouse exceptionalism. I wish you could go. I wish we could be rid.
I am gonna go home.
I wish we could cast you off to Ireland. You'd be good over there. They'd like you over there.
This is more discrimination.
What, to cast you over to Ireland?
It's just, well, if you could bring the Irish.
I don't think it's discrimination. I think you're a natural fit.
I do think that I would do well in Ireland.
Do you?
I think if you put me in most places in the world, I'd do pretty well.
But you think Ireland is like...
I think if I went to America, like if I went to like New York, they wouldn't know what to do with me.
I wouldn't want to go and live in New York.
I wouldn't want to. But if I was like...
Rent's too high over here, bro. I don't want to go to...
If I was exiled
Exiled
to New York, like say New York, and I would go up to a group of friends, maybe the friends from Friends, and I'd just be like, how are we? And they don't do it. But I'd just say to them, you know, how are we? And they'd be like, what's this character? What's he up to? How did we get onto this?
Liz Truss, I love her.
Yeah.
She's a hell of a woman. She's more than a woman.
I agree.
She's the Prime Minister.
She's the Prime Minister of my heart.
She's the Prime Minister of my soul. Nadine Dorries should be next. When Liz Truss has to resign for some bullshit reason.
What is it going to be that gets her?
Well, when's the next election? 2024, end of 2024.
Although there are rumours of an early election.
No, there won't be, because they're going to get dogged if they do that.
Yeah.
So 1994.
1994? Sorry, is Liz Truss going to come up with the time machine?
2024.
Okay.
2042.
2042?
2024.
Cyberpunk 2024.
So she's got till but it was December last time, wasn't it?
Yeah, so but that was unusual.
Yes, but they could...
I think they would call it in May.
Yes, I think they would,
yeah.
but...
okay, so
but she's got until December.
Okay.
She's got until December 2024 to fuck up and have to resign over something. So the last moment that they're going to make her resign, barring anything like never seen before in terms of why someone's had to go, you know, because they always stick around for a bit after they resign.
That's relatively new, actually.
They stick around a bit.
Yeah, David Cameron went pretty much right away.
Yeah, but that was only because there was no candidate left in the leadership election. He was going to stick around till October. Do you remember? But Andrea Leadsom pulled out.
Yeah.
And what was I saying?
They stick around a bit.
Yeah, they stick around a bit. But why did I get onto that? Oh yeah, so Liz Truss, right? So the latest that they can really get rid of her is like probably around the same time they got rid of Boris. So have a new Prime Minister for like August maybe.
Yeah.
So okay, let's say that she's got till April 2024 to fuck up.
Okay.
Right. What's it gonna be? What can she do in that time?
I feel like if the only joke I make about Liz Truss is just some variation on a cheese joke, like that's...
I don't think it's going to be cheese. But
No,
remember, she did have that affair.
She
did have that affair, and even though people...
What have you got?
People didn't... just put my phone away.
Okay.
People thought Boris wasn't that bad for having affairs.
Yeah.
But she's a woman. She's a woman.
Yeah.
So
it's not Chad when she does it.
It's worse, isn't it, when she does it?
Although, do you remember when Katie Hopkins got photographed shagging in that field and no one really cared?
Yeah, but she's not the Prime Minister, Katie Hopkins.
No, but think about it.
Look what they've done to...
She could be after Liz Truss.
Look what they've done to Sanna Marin over in Finland.
Free my woman, honestly.
You can't party.
No.
You can't party anymore.
I'm sorry, like, why can't you party?
You should be able to party. I want to be able to party.
Yeah.
The Prime Ministers want to be able to party.
There's like... 5 people in Finland.
Prime Ministers are people too.
This could be a new form of campaigning, actually, because she could... How many people is there's like 5 million people in Finland?
I'd hold countrywide raves.
Well, what I'm saying is, she could, as a campaign, genuinely, she could just go clubbing. And in major cities.
Okay, I've got a better idea for you.
Go on.
What if she goes to places where people are tripping, and she campaigns when they're tripping, so it gets psychologically instilled.
This is like MK Ultra.
To vote for her. But anyway, what's going to bring Liz Truss down?
Oh yeah, we should probably discuss that.
What's it going to be? Is it affair? Could it be another affair?
I don't think it's going to be an affair. Although she isn't well known for that.
She has had an affair.
Apparently, someone... I heard that she did it in the Houses of Parliament.
I didn't know that.
I heard that she... But, you know...
That could be liable.
That could be liable.
We don't care. If Liz Truss is listening to this... If Liz Truss is listening to this, she's... Why? Because she's got better things to be doing right now.
I don't think I don't think she has.
If I was about to become the Prime Minister,
well,
I'd be enjoying.
Yeah, but maybe the polls are tighter than we know, and she's obviously ahead. Maybe they are, and we got the Keir Starmer prediction right, and she's listening to see. She's like, these guys will know. So Liz, if you're listening, it's you.
You're going to be Prime Minister, so you don't no need to listen.
Yeah, you can tune out now
into this podcast.
Yeah.
You are safe, Liz.
Okay, she gone?
She's gone.
Okay.
I think she's gone.
I think she's off.
There's people at GCHQ listening very intently right now.
Yeah, well, they want to know.
To my computer.
Yeah. Well, we get most of our information from GCHQ.
That's true. I get it beamed directly into my
microchip. It's like that Doctor Who thing.
Which Doctor Who?
Do you remember the Christopher Eccleston Doctor Who? And then there was that guy who joined them for like one episode, and then.
Oh, the Simon Pegg when he's taking orders from the.
Not Simon Pegg, but like the guy in that.
Yeah.
episode.
Oh, when he has to break the
and
brain.
a triangle opens in his head.
It's actually, isn't it a circle?
Is it?
I think it's a circle.
I think there's a triangle involved.
Is there a triangle involved?
I think there's a triangle.
Doctor Who triangle man.
We're a shape podcast now.
Hey Siri, who was the Doctor Who triangle man? I don't have an iPhone. Damn.
Okay, Liz Truss, what's gonna get her? Quick, I want a quick answer.
It's just gonna be you know what? It's gonna be parties again.
No.
I think she's gonna have. No, because we were talking earlier about how there's going to be another wave of COVID.
We were talking, because we were saying, at the moment, what's wrong in the world? Everything. But COVID has been too quiet recently. And I feel like this is the time where COVID steps up and it goes, okay, new strain. I'm going to fuck things up.
And she's going to have a party.
She's going to have a party.
In the COVID
okay.
lockdown.
I could see that, but I feel like it's going to be something else.
I reckon it's going to be something that she's done from before she was Prime Minister.
What if she's like... She had that past as like a supposedly like radical Lib Dem.
Do you think it's going to be something from that?
What if it comes out that she like made an attempt on like the Queen's life?
I don't think she would have made an attempt on the Queen's life.
Well, why not?
But I think she may. She might get arrested for some 13th century treason law or something like that.
That would be quite good actually. But then, you know... Would
you really be surprised? Like,
I would have to take a side though.
And you've got to imagine that everyone would be like calling for a resignation. Like Keir Starmer would like call for a resignation, and then it would turn out that he actually argued the same thing in court, and then have to resign in solidarity.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Cause that's what's going to happen. Liz Truss and Keir Starmer are both going to have to resign for not being staunch monarchists.
That's actually it could be to
happen.
do with the Queen.
That could happen. Andrew's gonna go nonsense again, and the Queen's gonna come out and say, "Dear Andrew," I can't do it. I can't.
Please finish it.
Dear Andrew, this time round, because I am old, and I will not be in full control of my mental functions for much longer, I will publicly support you in your claims to nonce.
It sounds like Emperor Palpatine.
Power! Unlimited power!
Who the fuck is gonna listen to this? Okay. So that's Liz Truss wrapped up. Okay. Okay. What else politics has happened?
One of the maddest country on earth going to the polls. One of the Italians voting.
We were discussing this. You were giving me the lowdown on Italian politics.
Where are my Italians at? If you're Italian and you're listening to this pod, again I ask you why. But
we're getting a call.
Oh.
Hello? Yeah, we're the Left Can't meme. It is a fucking stupid name as well. Yeah, I think the Crispy Boys would be better, but... Okay, apparently this is an Italian guy who's calling in. I don't know how he knows we're recording.
Put him on speaker.
Okay. So what do you have to say, Mr. Stromboli? Spaghetti the meatball!
Oh, you've got me again, Mr. Stromboli. I've told you to stop calling this number.
Okay. So, what's the name of the one who's going to be Prime Minister in Italy?
Well, you don't know, because the political system that they have.
Okay, but you know who I'm talking on. The one who's going to be like...
The one who's going to probably win the election.
Yeah.
Like, in terms of the most votes. Yeah, so she's... they're called the Brothers of Italy.
Even though she's, not a brother.
Yeah, they're led by a woman who's called, like, Giorgia Melon. Or something like that.
Giorgia Melon?
Giorgia Melon, hang on.
Sorry, what? That's not an Italian name.
Georgia Melon.
Sorry, listeners, bear with us while Joe...
Georgia Maloney.
Okay, that she just sounds like a...
It does sound a bit like Georgia Melon.
She kind of sounds like the wife of a mob boss in like a bad American...
The wife, yeah, she does a little bit, don't she?
Hey, this is my wife, Georgia Maloney.
But she's basically Georgia Melon is the leader of this they're the very far right party. Mm-hmm. They're the furthest right party.
Yeah.
And they're going to go into coalition with this bloke called Matteo Salvini, who is the leader of the second furthest right. Yeah, the League. Yeah. Who I didn't even get around to telling you this.
Yeah.
The League used to want Italy to be split in half, and so the northern half would be independent from the south.
And why?
Because they said the north was richer and the south was a shithole.
Okay,
basically.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But they're now across all of Italy.
Okay.
And they're going to be the second, or not the second biggest party, but they're going to be if this woman, this mad, insane fascist woman, gets into government, they will be with her.
Okay.
And there's a recurring character.
Oh, go on.
From the last 30 years of Italian politics, who is rearing his head.
I don't know who this could be.
So are you aware of... So obviously we have to be talking about the man Silvio Berlusconi. Oh. A classic figure. A pop culture icon.
Just one of those people who, like, morally is like a slug.
My Prime Minister. This is the man who once brought in a law saying that people over a certain age, I think it was 70, wouldn't serve long prison sentences. And then subsequently, shortly after that, was himself arrested and convicted for having sex with an underage prostitute.
Well...
And he was over that age limit.
Well, I don't think that those two have anything to do with each other.
No, I think it's a coincidence.
Because if he really wanted to do that, he just would have made a law that says people called Silvio Berlusconi wouldn't serve long prison sentences.
He leads a party called Forza Italia.
Okay. Hang on, where's 5-star in all of this? I thought he was
5-star are getting... No. 5-star are going... They're done for.
They're not getting 5 stars.
They're basically doomed.
Okay.
They have the former Prime Minister leading them, a man called, and he is a Joseph, so I have to support him. But he's Giuseppe Conte.
Okay.
And he's leading the 5 stars.
And Mario Draghi, he's somewhere.
He's the Prime Minister.
If you've read,
Italy have done this before. Mario Draghi is he's the technocratic Prime Minister. They do it whenever because the Italian politics gets fucked up.
Yeah, but do you know Mario Draghi's international political role and the
European Central Bank? Yeah.
If you read,
he saved the euro.
Well, that's one way of saying it. If you read Yanis Varoufakis's one of his books, it's called something.
Yeah, he has books anyway.
Yeah, he's got a few, and he talks about his time as the Greek finance minister, and how Mario Draghi was just a dick. But I'm not interested in that. What I'm interested in is the fact that, at one point, a group of, Greek, hoodlums and youths and anarchists came up to, beat the shit out of him. And he was just no. And they all left. I want your reaction to that. You can't just... We cannot ignore that Yanis Varoufakis faced down a gang of street toughs.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you have to say about that?
That he's not relevant anymore. He's doomed. His goose is cooked, mate.
Yeah, but what if he's Batman?
I don't think he's Batman.
He could be Batman.
But Jarvis Cocker did shag his wife.
Yeah, I was about to say.
But the Italian government collapses.
Yeah.
That often that they just occasionally it will get that fucked up that they'll just be okay, here's this guy. And every single party will just be yeah, you know what? We'll just let him do it.
Yeah, I just figured out what Italy is.
Go on.
It's like Liverpool.
It's like the Liverpool of Europe.
The government is basically the same.
But Silvio Berlusconi is going to be a potential kingmaker.
I thought you were going to say king. I thought they were bringing the monarch back.
In this far right government, he won't be prime minister.
No,
he is 85.
Yeah,
but I mean, like, he could be Prime Minister in the future. I would not rule it out.
Yeah.
It's
well,
just,
he's going to be older than 85 then.
He's likely not going to be the one who gets it.
Yeah.
Because there's younger people.
Yeah.
And he's an old...
But there's still going to be younger people when he's older.
Fucking dickhead. There's a documentary on Netflix about Berlusconi.
I have not seen it.
It's not really a documentary about him. It's a documentary about his house.
Okay.
They just go around. It's like MTV Cribs.
I was going to say, is it like Cribs?
It's like a posh Italian MTV Cribs, basically.
What is his house like?
It's weird. So it's like this big ass mansion because he's basically like the only reason he was Prime Minister of Italy is because he owned all of the TV stations.
Yeah.
So
Good
he just
strategy.
So he just like obviously was, and he also owned Inter Milan.
Did he?
Yeah, he did.
I never knew that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But he.
Who owns Real Madrid?
Real
I know that's
Madrid.
Spain. I know that is Spain.
Real Madrid's it's a one where they vote for their owners.
That's based. I fucking love Real Madrid.
You shouldn't love Real Madrid.
I love Real Madrid.
They're scumbags.
No, but Carlo Ancelotti.
They're scumbags.
I love him.
Oh yeah, because he ditched you after one season.
Right.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm not an idiot.
Can you tell me what you won under Carlo Ancelotti again, Sam?
Our dignity. The Merseyside derby.
Oh yeah.
The transfer window.
You're just thinking.
And then right afterwards,
you
the
always
team,
win the transfer window.
the team
and then
that he built won the Florida Cup.
Oh yeah, okay. But no, anyway.
When did you win the Florida Cup?
Berlusconi is so his house is this place.
That's a good start.
He has 3 rooms
Uh-huh.
dedicated to fan art of himself that people send him in.
That's based.
Like, he literally goes through it and he's like, oh yeah, this is a portrait a lady did of me, and stuff like that.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
He's a weird guy.
Yeah. No, like, that, I mean... Oh, he's like Saul Goodman, isn't he?
He's like the Saul Goodman.
I bet his mansion looks like Saul Goodman's mansion.
It does a little bit.
Yeah.
It does a little bit look like Saul Goodman's mansion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Saul Goodman didn't really get to enjoy that mansion.
No, he didn't really. Did everything that Saul Goodman did, it was, you know.
He did it for you.
You liked it? He was good at it?
For what were we even on?
We were talking about Italian politics.
Yeah. Well, yeah, fucked place.
Weird country.
Dead place.
It is going to be interesting to see that, like, I do feel a bit of solidarity with the Italians because they've seen, obviously, that our government is fucking weird and getting weirder, and they've decided, no, ours will get weirder. We're going to make you look better by comparison.
They're in an arms race with us,
yeah.
I think, to get weirder.
Yeah.
No, that's what I think.
What other countries are doing weird shit?
What other countries are doing weird shit? Japan.
Yeah.
Japan's gone really weird.
That's gone very weird.
Japan's gone really weird. China's gone really weird.
China's gone weird.
What's another one that's gone weird?
America's going a bit weird.
America's just
America's always
America's
weird. But, like, yeah, but America's taken on a new form of weirdness.
There's not that many weird. Obviously, Russia and Ukraine.
Yeah, that's some weird shit.
There's some weird stuff going on over there. There's some weird stuff going on.
What is your take
on
the Russia-Ukraine conflict? I want a quick.
It just shouldn't be happening.
Right.
It's just dumb.
It's just because I wanted to get out there. You know, I don't want us to be slandered as like pro-Russian.
I don't think we're gonna get slandered as pro-Russian.
But I just because I would be willing to be slandered as pro-Russian if we were getting funded by the Russian government.
But we're not.
I call Putin.
Well, we wouldn't do it for free.
No,
I'm not standing for anyone.
No,
for free.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, except Liz Truss.
They need to earn that. Apart from Liz Truss,
Yeah.
but Liz Truss, I'm a patriot.
Yeah,
that's and why Liz Truss is going to be our prime minister.
Yeah, the people's prime minister.
And I'm not gonna go against what Liz Truss has to say.
I kind of fear her.
I think that she is a very, very respectable woman.
Yeah.
And I think that if she feels the need to dress up like Margaret Thatcher, then dress up like
Margaret. A lot of them do that though, like Nicola Sturgeon. She did that for a while.
Yeah, I don't think that a lot of men do it though.
Wouldn't it be better though if they did?
If the men did. I think if David Cameron had dressed up like Margaret Thatcher.
Yeah. Or Boris Johnson could have done it and got away with it.
No,
Boris Johnson genuinely could have got away with that.
Yeah, 100%. He could have been like, oh, he could have just boasted, couldn't he?
Yeah.
He could have just been like, oh, look at me, I'm a little fucking private school punk.
Yeah.
I dress up as a woman and no one cares.
I want a Boris Johnson punk.
He's like, I'm just a little posh with like balloons under his shirt for tits.
God.
Like, can you imagine?
Oh no. Oh,
I could see Boris doing that.
And so can I if I pay £5.
What do you think he's gonna do now? No one's talking about what Boris is going to do.
I was listening to our last episode, and we got Trump dead wrong.
What did we say Trump was?
We said Trump, and this was something I think most people agreed with at the time, was just going to go into media. Which he didn't. We?
Oh, right, okay. No, he didn't really.
No, he kind of just...
kept going.
Yeah, he hung around. Greatly diminished, because all his, like... They couldn't go on Twitter anymore.
Well, and he's not the president anymore.
Yeah, that's
which does diminish.
I genuinely think that losing Twitter...
Oh, was probably worse for him.
Did more damage to him than losing, the presidency, but...
Yeah, well, now no one talks about him.
Yeah. No, he is back in the...
Yeah, but not... Oh, yeah, that's true, nowadays. With the arrests, but other than that, nobody's really, like...
Yeah, but, so I don't want to say Boris Johnson is going to go into media or anything.
He's not going to go into media, no.
Well, he could.
Nah, I don't think he will.
Shit, I just started by saying
I don't think he will. Is he going to write columns again?
Some people say, like, people close to him say that he's just planning to come back. Which I could see.
Oh, that's tragic. I can actually see that as well.
The thing is, though, it's kind of the same as Trump, who also, at this point, I think is planning to come back if he can. It's sad because Boris Johnson... I may curse myself here. I may be wrong. I think if Boris Johnson tries... He's just going to fail.
He's never going to come back.
It's going to look really embarrassing.
He doesn't have the same... The Tories are more ruthless than, like, the Republicans. Like, the Republicans are still fixated on Trump. Yeah. And even he's losing it a bit.
Yeah.
Like, for, like, Boris, whose popularity has just plummeted, because he's done shit. Like, yeah, he's got no way back ever.
Yeah. So although if he does, like, that would be impressive,
mate,
but if not...
Imagine if he runs for leader again and gets knocked out in the first round of voting. Can you imagine?
I don't think he would do something like that, though. I think at this point he would try and manoeuvre. He'd do some weird politics shit. It'd be like something out of House of Cards.
I reckon that any time, but it'd be shit House of Cards. He'd be like fumbling it every step of the way.
The shit House of Cards, and the leading man is somehow more of a nonce.
He'd be like, I reckon he's going to want to, every single time that there's ever a vacancy in the cabinet, I reckon he's going to be like begging for it.
Every time there's ever a vacancy in the cabinet, he's going to be somehow responsible for it.
Like, he's going to be like begging Liz Truss, literally like hands and knees.
Please,
like, please take me back. You know, like David Cameron had that brief weird period a few years ago when he was like, I want to be foreign secretary.
Did he?
No, well, it wasn't like he said it, but like it was very much rumoured that everyone around him was saying he wants to come. He wants to cut into the Lords.
Right. Okay. I could see that. Yeah. Boris Johnson is someone. Do you think he wants a lordship?
No.
No.
Because he can't be Prime Minister again.
Yeah.
But I could fully believe that he's rumouring that he's coming back. Do you think he gets a knighthood under Liz Truss?
That could be the way to buy him off.
To say, this is, like... Because he'd love that, wouldn't he? He'd love getting his head tapped by the Queen. He wants
that kind of... He wanted to
be
Winston Churchill.
Yeah. Like, I think, yeah.
Plus, like, if he's... Like, here's the thing, right? My opinion on Keir Starmer, who now is leading in the polls, I've not changed my opinion.
Labour are up by 3 points. Sorry, Tories are up by 3 points today.
Are they?
Weirdly.
Really?
They're still 3 points behind Labour, but they're up. They're up 3 points.
Okay, but even though Keir Starmer is doing okay at the minute, pretty okay. I will say he's doing very okay.
He's doing all right.
Yeah, even though he's shit.
He should not be disappearing in the cost of living crisis.
Yeah, he is like still an empty glass of water. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing there. There's nothing. And for Boris Johnson to be like, that guy outlasted me. That guy outmaneuvered me. Even though he mainly won by just sitting by and watching the Tories do their thing. But he did outlast Boris Johnson. And for him to outlast him, and he has a knighthood, and Boris Johnson doesn't, that's going to sting.
Yeah, Boris has got to get a knighthood.
He needs that knighthood. I think Liz Truss
would be stupid enough to do it. I think maybe she thinks it'll buy her out of the awkward conversations whenever she has a vacancy in the cabinet.
Do you remember when Jimmy Savile died?
Yeah.
And it came out that he was a nonce.
Yeah.
And then, did he get his knighthood revoked?
I don't actually know.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, like, who would theoretically have the power?
What, to revoke a knight?
Yeah.
No, I don't think anyone would revoke Boris Johnson.
No. But follow me here. What if the thing that takes Liz Truss down is she gets involved in some harebrained, convoluted plot to revoke Keir Starmer's knighthood?
I could see that.
Like
I could
that.
100% see
Yeah,
that.
How long has it been since we tried to figure out what was going to take it down?
I still
like
think
20 minutes.
I still think it's going to be the royalist.
It could be, but I think like genuinely she could try and revoke his knighthood, and that could be what does it.
Corruption, and that would kind of fit as well. It would
Yeah.
be corruption of the monarchy.
Yeah.
Because the Queen is the one who technically gives them.
Oh, she makes a
She's
deal.
they're both going to get brought down. Keir Starmer's going to lose his knighthood in disgrace.
Yeah.
And he's going to have to resign. And then a few months later, it's going to come out that Liz Truss
Yeah.
has done it.
But the way that she did it...
Labour will have elected a new leader in that time.
But the way that she did it, the way that she like struck that deal to get rid of Keir Starmer's knighthood, was she protected Prince Andrew from some new...
I knew it.
Some new thing.
When I did my incredible impression of the Queen.
I'm sorry, but like if you view like British politics as a narrative, which I think is one way you can view it, is like why the Prince Andrew nonce plotline, it didn't go anywhere.
No, but it's going to come back.
So it's got to come back.
It's got to come back. Because it's just been relegated for a bit while
Yeah.
other stuff happens.
But like this is actually the long...
Yeah, this is the long-term story arc, yeah. It's going to take down the monarchy,
Yeah.
and then we're going to be replaced by President David Cameron.
And the only guy who comes out of it, like, still standing is going to be Prince Andrew as well. He's, like, going to be the one guy...
No, we're going to end up with President Andrew.
Oh, God.
President Prince Andrew. What's their fucking surname again?
Windsor.
Windsor. But
Yeah.
it's a longer one, isn't it? It's like a triple...
Was it, like, some German situation?
Windsor, but the Windsor...
Oh, Mountbatten is involved somewhere.
Elizabeth Windsor Battenberg.
Battenberg.
Elizabeth.
They have a very good kick. Sorry, Joe's just Googling.
Elizabeth Windsor surname.
We should probably do our research before the podcast.
Yeah, we should,
in the future.
but at the same time.
Oh shit, Joe's going to prove he's not a robot.
Oh, that's not as...
Sorry, mate.
That's not as cool as I thought it would be. Hang on.
Sorry.
Why don't they have the long surnames anymore?
I think they just don't.
She should have a long surname.
Sorry, just before we go anywhere, we're just on the Wikipedia page for Elizabeth II, and I just read the third paragraph. When her father died in February 1952, Elizabeth, then 25 years old, became Queen Regnant, but I misread it as Queen Pregnant.
Queen Pregnant.
It was like, is that an official title?
That's the ritual.
To be fair, like, a large part of the royals' job is just to breed.
To have children, yeah.
It's incredibly dehumanising.
They have to keep it going.
Yeah.
They have to keep it going. Can you imagine if one said that they... How long do you reckon it's going to be till one says they're gay?
Oh, no, not gay. Gay is, like, nothing compared to this. One of them is going to be one of those really annoying child-free types.
No.
Yeah,
no, I can't see it.
No, one of them is just going to be like, I hate children, I hate you fucking, what do they call them, crotch goblins. And they're just going to be like making royal addresses about how much they hate.
No, there have to be bachelors. There have to be elderly, cool royal family bachelors, surely. Right?
I don't know.
Or do they all have children?
What do we mean by cool here? Cause
okay, like cool as in like in a royal sense. Cool relatively for upper class British society.
Yeah, but like the kind of like there may well be some gay
like a
royalists.
James Bond kind of older royal and old James Bond bachelors.
But they're all involved in noncery.
Yeah. But except the cool gay bachelor.
He's the
one good one, but unfortunately he's like 117th in the line of succession.
I think I say 117 years old then.
And
117
and
years
105 years old.
Okay.
Because when you get past 110, your ability to be like a James Bond somewhat diminishes. Up until then, you're pretty much okay.
Okay.
If you get too old,
you're
kind of doomed, aren't you?
Yeah.
But he does want to get to 117 so that he could be the same age as he is in the line of succession. And he's banned all the others from having children.
Okay.
So that he can be in the same line of succession order for when he reaches 100.
What's his name?
His name is Gerald Philip
Schofield
Windsor-Bottom.
Okay.
The fourth of Nigeria.
Nigeria?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so that's the monarchy report. The Royal Roundup.
You're telling me that a Nigerian...
Oh, could we make that an official, like...
The Royal Roundup.
That could be like a recurring...
That should be the name of the podcast.
Yes! Nah. Yes! The Royal Roundup.
So they're all...
We become a monarchist podcast.
We become the royalists.
Let's take a break from politics.
Yes.
Joe, I want you to take me through what happened to you in Chorlton Park the other day.
In Chorlton Park the other day, I had an experience that
Would you say it was traumatic?
I don't think it's traumatised me, although it has humbled me somewhat, is what I would say. So I'm in the park. I've just been to the shop. Got my food for the week.
Yeah.
I'm coming back and take a seat in the park. It's a nice day. It's about 23, 24 degrees, something like that.
Clear skies?
Clear. Good question. I don't actually...
Let's not Google it.
Let's not Google it. Was it clear the other day when I got...
Well, don't spoil it.
When I got into a certain situation.
So you're in the park?
I'm in the park, and I'm having a good time. It's nice weather. And in the distance, I noticed that there is a dog that is chasing something.
Yeah.
And the dog... I'm like, wow, that dog really does look like it's going for something. And I was like, and the thing that it's chasing looks like it's moving.
Yeah.
Like, what is that? And I look, and I'm not wearing my glasses, so it's a bit difficult to make out at first. But I see a flash of colour, and it looks like the dog is chasing a flash of colour. And at first I'm thinking, what is that? I'm like, is it a frisbee or something? Because it's been going for a while, this flying thing.
Okay.
And then it circles around, and I look at it, and I think, no, hang on a second. That's not a frisbee or anything. It's just turned around. It's a parrot. So there's a parrot flying around.
A rogue parrot.
A rogue parrot flying around Chorlton Park at about 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, something like that. On
sometime that's on the clock.
Last week.
Yeah.
Sometime on a day in the week.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking, right, okay, it's a bit unusual. I take a picture of it. Obviously got a nice picture of it flying. And I think I've never seen a parrot in the park before. And I text you, and I'm like, well, Sam, I'm a bit confused about why nobody else in this park is really paying attention to this parrot flying around being pursued by a dog. The only people who look confused are me and the dog. The dog is just kind of sat there looking into the distance after the parrot escapes it. And so I'm on the bench a bit longer. And about 5 minutes later...
Wait, this is 5 minutes? When you told me this story, I assumed that this all happened within, like, a minute.
No, it's about five... No. So it's about 5-10 minutes later, maybe.
Okay, so that changes
and
it.
This... I see the dog is running after something again. And the parrot is... It's the parrot, basically. The dog is running after the parrot again. And the parrot, like, flies around or whatever, and then it, like, swoops in on the grass and then flies off. And I'm like, right, okay. About 10 seconds after that, it flies back across the grass. And I notice that it's closer this time, that it's flying towards the grass. And then about, a few seconds after that, it flies back across the other way, and it's noticeably closer to me this time. It's like there's like the bench, then there's like a path. Yeah. And there's the grass, and it was on the grass, and it's now flying across the path. And I'm like, okay, that's a bit strange. And then a few seconds after that, out of the corner of my eye, I notice that the parrot is to my left, and is flying in what appears to be towards me.
Okay.
And I'm thinking, hang on a second, is that parrot coming for me? I'm like, what do I do? And then in my head I'm like, nah, because there's no way that I'm about to be set upon by a parrot in the park, just out of the blue. And about 3 seconds after that, the parrot is that pose that eagles do when they swoop on. That pose that eagles do when they swoop on prey. It's doing that at me, and a parrot is a big bird.
Yeah.
It's like about as big as a bird of prey. It is a huge bird.
Yeah. It's like a giant budgie.
Yeah, and it's a proper parrot. It's not like a parakeet. It's a fucking big bastard.
Well, I don't want to know about parakeets.
And it's doing that to me. And so I pull my coat over my head, and I drop down into a ball. Because I'm thinking, at first I thought, do I hit it? And then I thought, no, I can't be punching parrots. I pull my coat over my head, and it lands on my back, and starts pecking at my coat, clawing at my coat, and then jumps off my coat onto the bench next to me. And I have pictures to prove that this is real. And then the dog that's chasing the parrot runs up to the parrot, and the dog starts like snarling in the parrot's face, basically, while the parrot stood on the bench. And the parrot just cocks itself forward and just shrieks back into the dog's face.
Oh, that's fucked up.
This man walks up to me and says, "Oh, I bet you shit yourself then, right?" And then he says, "You want to watch that guy? He's a mad bastard." About the parrot. So the parrot is a known entity in Chiltern Park. So there is a parrot just flying about.
PSA.
Attacking people.
Watch out if you go to Chiltern Park.
Don't go to Chiltern Park unless you are fully equipped to handle a parrot. Unless you can't go to Chiltern Park on your own. And by that I mean, like, even if you go with a dog or a cat or a rabbit, it's not safe because that dog was a lot bigger than that parrot was. It was a big dog. And the parrot did not give a shit.
Can I just circle back then? Why would you go to the park with a rabbit?
I don't know what people like to do. Well, people have clearly been to the park with a parrot and let it go. Or
did they though? Or did it did they release it from their house? Because when I was a kid, we used to... Have I told you about my budgies?
Yeah.
Right. Well, I haven't told the listener, so I'm just going to pretend you said no. I had a budgie called Percy, later known as Percy the First. And Percy was a great guy. Like, a real stand-up guy.
Yeah.
He would sit down on anything. He would sit on the couch. He'd sit on my toy trains that I'd play with, because I was a fucking nerd. He'd sit on my mum's knitting needle while she napped.
While she napped?
While she napped. And then one day, we'd come home, I believe actually from buying more train toys. I was a train tyrant.
A train tyrant.
A train tyrant. And she sits down, my mum sits down on the couch, and we just hear it crack. And that was it for Percy. At which point my dad started saying, "Give it CPR, give it CPR."
Give it CPR? You never told me that first.
All those kids were like, "Mum, why the fuck aren't you giving that bird CPR?" I don't remember if she did or not.
I don't think there was going to be much chance for Percy.
We buried Percy. We then adopted Percy the Second, who... I don't want to insult this bird, but I have no memory of it, because it lived in the shadow of Percy the First, and it could never live up to what Percy the First was. And then there was Eric. Eric.
So you ditched the Percy name after Percy the Second?
Yes, because we did not buy Eric. My granddad called us and said, "I've found a budgie. I assume it's escaped. I can't find it now. Do you want it?" And we were like, "Yeah, we'll have a budgie." So we had this budgie that my dad called Eric. Eric was a vicious fucker. Eric would just peck anything. Eric would make you bleed.
Well, that's presumably why someone would let it go.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it. So
yeah.
I don't think it escaped. I think it was released, and I think the same thing happened to your parrot.
I think it was released for being a nasty bastard.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
A mad bastard.
Because it's worth a lot of money, because it was a big, beautiful
So
bird.
imagine the amount of money you're letting go. You're like, I don't want this thing.
Well, I shouldn't have caught... I should have caught it.
You should have tamed it and made it an attack parrot.
Imagine if I'd tamed it.
You could have gone anywhere. You could do anything if you had that parrot.
An attack parrot.
It just hover above.
Like a falcon. It's worse than a falcon.
Yeah.
Because it's bright and colourful.
And it can speak.
Yeah. It can be like, "What's up, motherfucker?" Or like, "Time to die, motherfucker."
No, don't do that.
What?
Don't.
What?
Just don't try and do hard man lines for a parrot.
I could teach that parrot some things.
I think the parrot knows everything it needs to know about intimidation, because you're currently 1-0 down to this parrot. This parrot, I think it's fair to say, completely owned you in your last encounter.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I could have taken it.
You could. I don't think you could.
If I'd hit it, I reckon I could have taken it.
Because it would have pecked your hand off.
No, it wouldn't.
No.
I'd have taken a beating to the hand, but I'd have also probably knocked it stone cold.
I don't think
if I'd punched it in the face.
I genuinely, and you know I love you, and you know that I respect you, but I don't think you could have beaten that parrot.
Well, the next time I come across that parrot,
please don't try and fight the parrot because you'll die.
I'm going to hit it.
No.
I'm going to take a big stick with me to the park next time I go, and I'm going to bash it from a far distance.
No.
I'm getting that parrot. I think that...
What else has gone on? Has anything else gone on?
I don't think it has. I think we've now covered every single
all the
event.
major important political stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna do a plug. I'm gonna be at Wigan Diggers Festival whenever that happens.
Wigan Diggers Festival.
I think that's the 10th.
What is Wigan Diggers Festival?
So back in the day, there was this fella. His first name was Wigan. His last name was Digger.
I thought you meant it was in Wigan.
His name was Wigan Digger, and he dug a lot in Wigan. And that was no. It was. It's basically to pay homage. Is that what you say?
Yeah.
To pay homage. To pay homage. Those guys, the Wigan Diggers, they dug holes, they planted crops.
In Wigan?
No, but the fella was from Wigan.
Well, that's false advertising.
Yeah, but they did it...
Have you paid for this?
It was basically very early, like, socialistic.
Have you paid for this?
No, I'm going to man a stall.
Oh, I see. Okay, that's alright then. Because if you paid for it, I'd ask for a refund. Upon it being... No,
yeah,
upon finding out that they didn't dig
the
in
Wakes
Wigan.
are going to be there.
They didn't Wigan Digger.
I don't know who the Wakes are.
The Wakes?
Yeah. There's some kind of band or poetry group or something. They're going to be there.
The Wake.
Oh, here's another thing that happened. I went to... This is a couple of months ago. I went to a bar in Salford. King's Arms, it was.
Oh, yeah.
Good place.
Yeah.
And we were going to watch a gig. So we went up. And before the gig, this guy came on who was like a poet. And so we started doing poetry. And I was initially excited because I thought, hell yeah, dude, do what makes you happy. Do some poetry, you know. You might not be good at it. I'm always a bit wary when someone comes and does poetry. But, you know, who knows, maybe you'll be great at it, and even if you're not, you know, you do you. He started off a poem about how beautiful the north of England is, I believe.
Right.
He did a couple of Robin Hood poems. Then he did more North of England poems, basically explicitly calling for Northern independence. Like, this guy was a Northern Independence Party poet. And then, I want to say 5 poems about the Power Rangers.
I love it.
Can
you recite them?
I cannot. I've burned almost
Did you not
everything.
record them?
No. But 5 poems about the Power Rangers, including 1 poem about like a specific film incarnation of one of the woman Power Rangers. And then the last poem that I heard before I had to leave, because I didn't want to laugh at him, was a poem called A Woman's Point of View.
Right.
And this poem is about how he's like a cool, smart, handsome, perfect guy, but no woman wants to have sex with him. And the only line that I can remember from this poem is he's going on about how great he is, and then, but apparently I'm not fuckable. So
on that bombshell.
Yeah.
Apparently I'm not fuckable.
Yeah.
Apparently you're not fuckable.
Because we're all fans of the Power Rangers.
Apparently everybody out there.
If you like the Power Rangers, if you support Northern Independence, if you support Robin Hood,
if you're not fuckable,
this podcast is for you.
Goodbye.
Stay crispy.